typical bike show somewhere in the UK. A place for bikers to gather, to talk, to drink, to listen to music and to admire each other's machines. But this show is less about the bikes and more about the people. It's the annual get-together of the National Association for Bikers with a Disability.
This is what we're about. It's giving people access to the biking world, whether it's on two or three wheels. Once a disabled person is on a bike, they are a biker. They're not better than any other biker. They're certainly not worse than any other biker. They tend to be able to drink a lot more than a lot of other bikers, because you do find that the NABD members have a bit of a reputation for being party animals. But if you imagine that you might be dealing with a chap who's been off the road for 15 years due to an injury or an illness, and then he gets back on the road and gets back into a scene that he thought he'd never see again, just the joy of that turns you into a party animal. And this event itself is, I suppose, the perfect reflection of that.
Many of the disabled bikers at the show have spent long, hard years struggling to get back on the road. These guys truly are born-again bikers.
This rally to me has put me on the road. Without these people, I wouldn't be on the road, because they've helped me with the design for the hand controls, and it just gets people. What I like about it, able-bodied people and disabled people, just bikers together, having a brilliant time, and it's a brilliant organisation, and it believes in people, disregarding what disability they've got. They can ride bikes on the road, and it's a dream that's come true for me. I used to ride bikes when I was 19, and now I'm back on the road and I'm riding a bike, and I'm 52. Yeah, it's automatic gearbox with throttle and servo brake system, all on the same hand. That's the only change. And on the side there's a wheelchair carrier, so I can carry my wheelchair as well.
It's a Harley Davidson Dynaglide. Initially, when I first started looking at the conversion, I just wanted a bolt-on back end, and the guy made some inquiries and they didn't do it for a Dynaglide. So he duly puts me in touch with Trike Design at Cardiff, and I was invited to go down and have a look at the setup. I went down the following Saturday morning, and lo and behold, on Thursday I took my bike down for this conversion that you're looking at now. I'm more than pleased with it. He's made a fantastic job. It was very helpful. He listened to what I wanted doing. He did it to the best workmanship I've seen, and I'm very pleased with the finished article. As you can see, you're admiring it and you think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I've got an art disability and I was getting unsure on two wheels, so sooner than lose my licence, I went for three, which is very good. I'm really enjoying it. A few more little bits of it, you know, the reverse gear on it, and I had the back wheel put into the front for, you know, more rubber on the tarmac, as Hank says it and puts it like. But you know, it's my choice. Sooner than give up biking, I went this way. And you know, this rally is a good rally. You're made welcome. You see people a lot worse off than what I am, and you know, I'm pretty able-bodied to some that you see here, which obviously, you know, brings it back home to you.
But don't think the show is just for those who are disabled. Bikers of all varieties are equally welcome, and they turn up in their thousands on all sizes, styles and configurations of biking tackle. Of course, all these bikes and their riders need looking after. It's a big task, and that means finding lots of willing volunteers.
We source them by basically conning them into doing it when they arrive. The core group, I would guess, is probably about a dozen, which is control, gate control, people like myself and Rick running about. and then we get as many volunteer marshals as we can. We'd like to have something like 60 odd, so that they can just do 2 4-hour shifts and not do too much work, so it spoils the enjoyment. But one of the biggest bugbears, of course, is picking up rubbish afterwards. That happens on Sunday morning, and guess what? Most people have gone home on Sunday morning.
On the day, his job is to make sure that all the outside agencies and contractors are kept happy, so lots of people can come and raise lots of lovely money for the NABD.
Well, there's the environmental health and those kind of agencies, licensees, licensing magistrates and that for the beer licence. And then there's the marquee hire, generator hire, skip hire, toilet hire, all kinds of things like that, some of which just not obvious until you actually have to do the job.
This was the 13th NABD rally, officially branded 12A. They're a suspicious lot. The last one was at the York Dragway, but a new site means new responsibilities, and the man from the council needs to know that they're not going to disturb the neighbours' sleep with their loud rock music.
The biggest problem we got here is, in terms of this location and this site, it's a brand new event. If you've got a history, all they do is look in last year's records. They come around and say, do it like you did last year and everything will be fine. But because it's a blank page basically, all the spaces have got to be filled in. So they're measuring sound levels inside the marquee. I don't think it'll be a problem at all. Because the way the sound system is set up, and it's facing away from most of the nearest buildings, and to be honest there's only about 3 around here. The one it's facing towards we know isn't a problem. So the only nearest ones that are a concern are actually behind the speaker system. So there won't be a problem there.
I don't think I need to say, don't try this at home, do I? Especially not in a sequin thong. The NABD rally is a real family event. People come on their bikes and the family join them in the car. The whole purpose, a good time and to raise money.
We advise people on what adaptations are available for their disability. But if the adaptation work becomes beyond their financial means, they can apply to the NABD for a grant. And the grants range from a couple of £100 for a simple adaptation up to the maximum grant we can give any one individual of £1,200. We've actually had to fix that grant. It used to be higher, but as demand grew, to spread the funds amongst more people, we set a cap of £1,200, which in general will cover the necessary adaptations to, say, a trike for a wheelchair user.
No two disabled bikers are the same, and so it's important that the adaptations are specifically tailored to the individual's needs. One thing they all have in common, an appreciation of the NABD.
Yeah, I lost my right leg above the knee in 1995. So it's sort of, obviously it's close to my heart. Normally your rear brake works off your right foot, but this one's got a brake that's been made, so it now works off the handlebars there. So that basically serves as your rear brake now.
It's a Grinnell BMW R1150R trike conversion. I've got no use for my right arm, so it's got a left-hand throttle, which is on a positive throttle action like a standard throttle. The clutch lever is on the same side as per usual, so I use the throttle and the clutch at the same time. I've got no use of my right hand, so I use this adaptation to strap my right hand to the end of the handlebar. Some of the switches have been moved around. On BMWs, they have separate indicator switches, one for the left, one for the right. Well, on this, I've retained the left indicator, but the horn switch is now the right hand indicator, and we've got a separate cancellation switch. It's got a linked brake system, which means both the front and the rear brakes come on simultaneously, the rear just before the front, which is using an AP Racing master cylinder. Rear brakes are, I think, Ford Focus discs and calipers. The front ones as standard. The rest of the trike has been converted by Grinnells. It's got a Land Rover diff, twin Hagon shocks at the back, and it uses the original shaft drive.
Well, that's almost it from part 1 and the NABD Rally 12A in lovely sunny Cheshire. In part 2, we'll be meeting the specialist team who put together this utterly over-the-top, outrageous trike and made one man's dream come true. See you in part 2. Welcome back to part 2 of Bike Shows UK. We're at the 12A You've Been Nabbed rally in Leafy, Cheshire, not so far from the Jodrell Bank Radio Telescope. It's an event that brings disabled and able-bodied motorcyclists together to raise funds for the work of the National Association for Bikers with a Disability. But what makes this show so different and so special?
Because it's run by disabled folk, for disabled folk, and they're just more likely to cater for you, and just everybody else. It's just great fun.
I mean, it's a great place. I mean, I've just come down from Scottish borders just to be here with the rest of them, you know, and have a crack and carry on, see what's going on.
I'm fully able, and you don't realise how lucky you are. These lads they do a hell of a lot for the mechanical side and psychologically, mentally, and it's a great organisation. I'm very impressed with it.
There's absolutely stacks for disabled people, and it just goes to prove that disabled people can do just the same as able-bodied, shall we say, and
have just as much fun.
Have twice as much fun.
The rally's now up to the event between the 12th and the 14th. They're a very suspicious lot, the NABD. It's an important date on the biking calendar that had very modest beginnings.
The very first year we started, the idea was we'd have a rally for members. We went over to Edale, found a little field that 1 or 2 clubs already used for rallies, and we thought, I think at the time we had about 120 members, and we thought, let's have a rally, invite all the members down so we could meet, because the members were spread all over the country. As it turned out, we had 500 people came along, lots of clubs that supported us, friends of members, etc. It was a very good event, and there was so many people saying, do it again next year, it's really good. Once word gets about, it'll go well. So we took a bit of a gamble, and we moved over to Capesthorne Hall, the stately home near Macclesfield, and we thought, rather than just put it on as a members rally again, we'd open it up to everybody. And it paid off. That year we got 800 people, the following year we had 1,200. Over the next couple of years, it actually built up to 3,000 people attending the event.
The whole point of the NABD is to get disabled bikers back on the road. Now, they do that with lots of practical advice, and grants are available, but they also work with bike and trike builders, advising them on the needs of disabled bikers. People like Boom Trikes in Bolton, Lancashire, who put together this outrageous trike.
We've done some adaptations for the young chap who's bought this, who is paraplegic, which is basically paralysed from the chest down.
So we've had to put certain things on, and Anthony's been working on the braking system and putting the seat belts on for him.
If we lift up the seat here, just like this up. And this is the engine. 2 litre Ford Focus.
But it's 130 horsepower. You can also get it in a 2 litre Peugeot, which is 140 horsepower. This I'll do maybe 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds and approximately 140 mile an hour, which is ample on this.
Basically, to get on this trike from a wheelchair, you just wheel up in your chair, obviously put your brakes on, but there's a cutout in the leg protection bar to allow you to gain access with a wheelchair. And basically you'd be in this kind of position and you'd cock one leg over the seat and shuffle across, lift your legs up into the leg protection bar, you'd fasten your harness, put your harness on, and this particular customer's chair folds up quite small, so you would remove the wheels from the seated position and these would store on this side, and then his chair folds into a small maybe package like this, and this will be strapped onto this luggage rack here. Because this has got an automatic transmission and the controls are very easy and the adaptations for disabled people are relatively easy as well. It just means really moving the brake from the foot, which is the standard position, up to the hand. And this is basically a hand lever here, so that's your brakes. You just put it into drive, first, second or reverse, and your throttle is up here where you'd expect to find it on the right hand. So 2 basic controls, go, stop, and put it in gear. This is a remote pad for a stereo system, and on this trike it's got a music system with a 12-disc CD stacker system. And basically, so it's also got an alarm on it. And you just basically turn it on and operate the music from your pad. Sorry about the music, it wasn't my choice. So once you're in a seated position, you can put your harness on, which is basically, this is a 3-point harness. You can get 4 points, lap straps, all different adaptations. But the good thing about this harness is that it actually, when you put the cross belt on, it actually holds your legs into the tank because you have no feelings in your legs and they need to be secured solid there. Once you've done that, start the engine and off you go.
Today is a very special day indeed for Andy. He's been waiting months for this day. He's picking up his new trike the day before the NABD rally with every intention of riding it down there. It weighs 680 kilograms. It costs just short of £30,000. But this isn't just the first time he's seen it, it's the first time he's ridden a trike like this. Chairman of the NABD, Rick Hulse, doesn't have such an obvious visual disability as Andy, but he knows only too well just how he's feeling.
And as fate would have it, I got smashed up myself actually as a pedestrian in a hit and run accident, which brought it home to me, the thought that, well, if I could no longer be a biker, I couldn't think of what I'd do. I couldn't think of any other way of living, which made me get more involved. The following year, as the association had become an established association, I was asked to take on the post of chairman. Within that first year, we'd grown to a membership of 80, maybe 90 people, and over the following 12 years up till now, we've gone over 4,000 members in the UK and Southern Ireland. We've helped other groups to set up, one in France, there's one in the Netherlands which set up independently, but we are working with them, and we've just helped another group set up in Japan, and we're in the process of helping another group to set up in the United States.
So the NABD, another great British idea exported to the rest of the world. The custom show was attracting a wide range of entries. There was Steve on the BMW Grinnell trike, there was Alan from London on his adapted Kawasaki VN, and there was Rob on the Harley Dynaglide with a backhand adaptation from the trike shop down there in Cardiff, and very nice it looked too. And then, well, then there was this. It's called Tritanic, and it's, well, I'll let him tell you what it is.
What is it? He's a Robbie Reliant, but we have obviously a boat on top of it. Rather unusual.
The custom show attracted all kinds of three-wheelers, as you'd expect, ranging from the small, fast and responsive to the absolutely huge, great V8 engined caravan pulling variety, rather like this one. But of course, there were two-wheel machines as well. They range from traditional custom chops like this one to this one, which is an outrageous chopper based on a Lambretta scooter. It's lovely, but why? As the afternoon turned into evening, everyone was having a great time, listening to the bands, admiring the machines in the custom show and having a few refreshments. But we still hadn't seen Andy, the guy we'd seen picking up his trike the day before, and we were wondering if he was going to turn up at all. But then he made a dramatic entrance. It turned out he'd hardly been off it since he picked it up 24 hours earlier. But would you believe he got held up in football traffic? I mean, it's not exactly the sort of machine you can filter to the front on, is it?
Oh, words can't explain it, It's just been marvellous. I didn't get off it till 9:30 last night and drove down to the show this morning. Just the feeling's unbelievable. You've got to try it. I wanted to get back onto the road, and having the disability, it has been hard getting back onto the road, but boom, at Bolton have adapted all the vehicle, and yeah, I'm here again.
That's all from this edition of Bike Shows UK. See you all next time.